How are we going, everyone? I'm out in our citrus area, well, the Espaliered trees, that is. So we've got 4 here. These were planted, I think, about a year ago, a year and a half ago, maybe 2. We've got a mandarin, lime, orange, and lemon over there. And I've been training them in an espaliered form, but an informal espaliered form, which means a fan shape. So they're grown on this temporary fencing that I got from the local hardware store. It's a nice, easy way to erect a mesh or a backdrop or a wall that you need so you can tie your plants on. Unlike your typical formal horizontal branching, which I've done with an orange tree in the past, and it's been quite successful. We had fruit on it, but it takes a lot longer to establish. This formation, which is the fan shape informal espalier, will give you produce, or fruit that is, a lot sooner. There, you can see here we've got lots of flowers and fruit. Well, no flowers, sorry, I should say. The end of the flowers and the fruit's starting to grow there. So it's everywhere. It's probably got, I don't know, a couple of dozen fruit on here. If it keeps half of them, I'll be wrapped. What we need to do is train it, clean it up, cut it back, and it needs to be done on a regular basis. I think I've let this go for a little bit too long this year, partly because it's been a lot colder and wetter, so they haven't put enough growth on, but they have in the last month or 2. And I can see this is the lime tree. Now, the thing about training this, yes, they've got to be a flat shape, so that it's an east-west growth. Now, because I've got both sides exposed, which means I can work on both sides, I can have fruit established and visual established on both sides. So most cases you'd grow them against the back wall, side wall, or something like that, where they don't have, you know, 2 sides to the visual side of it, or the structure of it. You'll only be able to see from here. I've got to work on both sides because I've got that space. But the other part about this as well is every tree as a citrus, the varieties of citrus, each one has a different way of growing. Well, they all grow, you know, upright, vase and crossover branches and things like that. But, you know, the lime, by comparison to the mandarin, completely different. We've got large leaves here, a bit more structural, you know, integrity, stronger branching. Even the new shoots that come out, they're more rigid, not as many by comparison to what we have over there, which is the mandarin, and even the orange there. So have a look at this mandarin here. Look at this by comparison to the lime tree. It's more of a bush. It's almost like a kumquat, obviously, because the fruit is a lot smaller too. It grows similar to that of a kumquat, a lot softer. And if I was to leave this or just give it a light tip prune, it'll turn into a ball or a hedge or, you know, a shrub. So this has all got to come out. Have a look at this, for example. Here is the old branching. You can see the main trunk or branch going across here. We've tied it down. And we've got all these new shoots coming out. There's a new shoot there. It was obviously a lot shorter, but it's taken off and grown all the way up to here. Now, I've got to go through this, and I'm going to try and do it on this mandarin. The aim is to grow a flat fan, a fan-shaped structure, so that the tree covers this entire mesh, but we don't want it to be growing out like this, otherwise it'll become a normal open vase shaped tree. So this here is wrong. We don't want that. We need to remove all these branches. What we have in the middle is that. So take that away. This is what's going on at the moment. This, look, it's quite small. It's quite rigid. It seems like it's not going to grow anymore. It doesn't look like it will do anything much more. It may produce a flower next year. We've got a little branch here. The aim is not to overlap too many branches. Keep that in mind. So when you're growing something like this, it's not about grabbing this branch and just plastering it like that. That is not going to work. That's not how you grow an espalier. You want to work with it. You've got to be artistic with it. You've got to sit there and look at which branch is going to do what and grow in what direction. So that there's beautiful, naturally goes there. Now we've got another 2 that can go there, but we don't need them. They're growing out, so we cut them off. And we work around here now. So we've got, if I work from the bottom, it might be difficult. If I work from the top, it might be even more difficult. Confuse you? I've confused myself. What I'm going to work on is whatever's growing out first. So this one here is growing in there. I don't need it because I've already got enough branching, and it's also sticking out. So we can actually, don't cut it right short, cut it a little bit like that, and hopefully we may get something out of that. Now, citrus produce fruit on branches that are at least 9 months old. maybe 6 months if you're lucky, but 9 months. So this stuff here is where the next flowers will come from. We've missed the boat this year. This tree actually took a while to take off. It was going backwards for a little bit, probably the cold weather and the frost, but it's settled in now, it's happy, and now it's going to take off. And now we need to structurally shape it so that it's got the ability to produce flowers in the coming season. So again, let's work on everything that's sticking out that looks like it's not going to grow properly for us. We can't trade, and there are a lot of branches here that are sticking out, folks. Come in here and have a look at this. See this here at the moment? Jack, settle down, buddy. See this? It's grown from here, it's gone to the other side there. And there's more branching in here. There are too many, way too many. Look at this branch here that's gone in there. Don't need it. We need to take all these out. So I'm just going to remove all these now. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. I don't need that there. I'll cut it short. I'm going to cut them into little stubs, and then we'll look and go back. If we need to remove them again, we will. See, that's there. All this in here, don't need it. It's just too messy. So that's okay. We'll work on that a little bit. We'll clean that up on the other side. On this side is what we're focusing on. That's okay for now. That string line's in the way. All this branching there, again, it's on the other side. Do we need this? No, we don't. We'll cut it short. Do we need all this? We've got one up there. See that there? We don't, and this one's coming from down here. Again, we got to focus on the other side. Move that away. Actually, if I move that away completely, that's better. A little bit of clearance there. You don't need to fill up every square inch of this mesh. You want it to grow outwards. So anything that starts to thicken up in the middle too much, just remove completely. It will fill itself in again. So this branch here, for example, if I look at it like that, I have a better chance of allowing that to become thicker. I can bring this branch down here like that, which in fact is what I'm going to do. Bring it there, take all that off. You can see what I'm going to take off, just cut them short for now. Don't need that. That can go down there, that's down there. This, well, I really don't need this thing here. Look at that, it's hanging like a little, I won't say what, but anyway. There we go, there's that one there too gone. And we've got a couple here that are annoying me. Just cut them off completely. There we are, that can come off like that too. So that's just give you an idea. You get my tape gun. All right, we lost that. Where was it? It was here. Now with the tape gun, I'm going to grab a few leaves here and there, but that doesn't matter. It's not going to kill it. That's it there. Folks, if you're looking for this tool, we're out of stock at the moment. We will have some more coming in the coming days. You can pre-order it. It'll be about a week before it comes in. That's the Max tape tool, the Maxi tape tool. Anyway, back to this. That I don't need, too much. All this, I don't need a double side. I'll have it on that side. So we're just gonna cut that off there, like that. Not too bad. That, really, not needed, take it off. Remember, we've got this whole wall to grow it on. Don't allow it to become condensed too much in this small space. It will constantly put on new growth. Plants are very, very forgiving. You know, I don't get it right all the time, and in fact, I probably get it wrong more often than right. But that's how we learn. And the beautiful thing about these plants is, yeah, maybe 1 out of 100 times that you prune it too hard, it gives up on you, but the other 99% of the times, you know, the plant will react and it'll be happy. So I've cleaned this side up a little bit. Now we've got a choice here. We've got all this to grow up to here. But which one's gonna grow up? Do we need this one here? Do we leave that one there? Which one are we gonna leave out of all these? We can't keep them all. We can try and fan them out, but once you start fanning these out, you've got also these to fan out. See that? That's where the last cut was, and then all of a sudden we've got all these new shoots coming on. So we keep the strongest one out of the lot, and that one there looks like to be, no, it's actually this one down here is that strongest one, so we remove the others. Keep that there, and we'll work on the other side afterwards. Again, over here, lots of multiple branches going on, don't need them all, cut that out. Keep that taller one, but look at the difference. That's a better growth on there, new growth. Still a little bit of leaf curl. It could be anything that's caused that, weather, maybe the acid in the soil. That there hasn't got any, so I'm going to keep this one by comparison and take this one out. And that's what we look for. And that one's not too bad, but we've got to go on the other side. So let's just cut that off there for now. Cut all these off, don't need all that. We've got a nice strong one up there, and all this at the bottom still coming through. You can reverse or rewind the video you just watched, folks, if you can't remember what it looked like earlier because I'm taking so long to prune it, and you'll see what it was like before to what it is like now. And you need to always fix them onto the framework. Don't let them grow out. If they grow out, it defeats the whole purpose of it being an espalier tree. All over again. Here we go. It's a lot better, folks. One thing I did forget to mention also with citrus trees, if you thin them out too much, they freeze, they get cold. So, you know, even if it's an open vase shape or just a bushy sort of citrus tree, if you go and prune it heavily in the one go and thin it out too much, especially in the colder regions like where we are in Victoria, and if you do it in autumn or winter, the chances are your tree's going to get frostbite. It's going to get cold because it creates a draft. You've got this open space and it blows through it. When, like before, it was much more bushier, it was a little bit more protected. It had its covering, so it wasn't going to get affected. And that's not to say that you can't prune it heavily, but don't do it in the colder months of the year and in the colder regions. You know, now that we're meant to be in summertime, the first month of summertime, as the weather does warm up and stabilises, giving the tree a good prune is okay. But remember, with citrus trees, unlike fruit trees, if you prune it too heavily all in the one go, it's going to lose its cycle for fruiting. Now, this one was pruned heavily last time. It lost its cycle. It went backwards a little bit. It's settled down now because it's got its new growth. It had a little bit of a leaf curl establishing on it. I've got to still tape some of those up here. I haven't finished this side, folks. Don't judge me yet, eh? Cut all this out. Don't need that. That will go there. And that can sit there like that. And that's okay there. So that's what we do. So tape up your trees. If you haven't got the space in the garden, this is a great way to grow your fruit trees, citrus trees. In fact, any type of plant you love, you can espalier it flat like this. So imagine in the courtyard, if you've got a backyard or a side path of the house, which is only a few metres wide and long, and you want to have a little table setting or a pathway to get through, but yet you want your trees as well, A, you can grow them in a pot, keep them small, dwarf varieties, or B, create one of these garden bed, under a metre wide like this, quite easily. You've got your tree in the background, you can have your herbs and veggies in front, and you still have all the space you want in your garden. So think about espalier trees when it comes to planting something in your garden, so you don't lose the space and you get a beautiful backdrop and maybe lots of fruit as well, but in the years to come. A little bit of patience, all things come in good time. Check out our website, vasili'sgarden.com. We've got some crazy specials running through. It's the silly season sale. Everything is discounted, folks, and obviously the VIP members who subscribe to our magazine get up to 80% off everything every day of the year. Black Grid is on special. Enjoy. From me, Vasili, Mareshi. That's vasili'sgarden.com.